What's up everyone? Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm so happy to be doing this video because in this video I'm using all influencer created makeup. I really just want to show some love to the influencers who have really put themselves out there and put a lot of thought and love into creating their own products. I know there are tons more out there, but there's only so much I could use on my face, and I just want to let you guys know. I know in basically every video of mine, I only ever use like one eyeshadow palette to make a look happen. In this, I use several different palettes for face and for eyes. Again, because the point of this video is more to just show love to these people and not so much like how to create a look with the fewest amount of products. So please keep that in mind. But I love how this look turned out. It's gonna be a matte plum smoky look, and especially if you have brown eyes or even like hazel or green eyes, this kind of look just will make your eyes pop. And speaking of collabs, this is not a makeup collab, it's a jewelry collab. You guys know Hey Claire Marshall. She did a collab with Mejuri, came out with necklaces, earrings, and rings, and this is one of the necklaces. So stick around, I'm gonna show you how I created this look. Since I'm using darker colors for this makeup look, I am gonna start with the eyes first. I don't normally do that, but because there's gonna be a lot of fallout, I'm gonna start with the eyes first, wipe, and then do the face. The two eyeshadows I'm going to be using are the Persona Cosmetics Identity Palette and the Dominique Cosmetics Latte Palette. Persona Cosmetics was started by Sona Gasparian and Dominique Cosmetics was started by Kristen Dominique. Both brands right now have only eyeshadow palettes, so I decided to use these for the eyes. So the first color I'm going to start with is Caramel from the Latte palette. I'm just going to start working this into the upper part of my crease. So this really light neutral color, I'm working all the way pretty much up to where my brow begins here. All right, next up I'm going into the Identity palette. In case you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. Really pretty neutral shades, mattes and shimmers. I'm gonna actually dip into Charming, which is just a slightly darker neutral shade. So this I'm gonna work again into my crease, but a little bit lower. So it's gonna deepen the color, but it's just gonna be a little lower so it's not too close to my brow bone. I feel like right now is that awkward time of year where it's not really spring, summer, it's not really the holidays, so there's really no like seasonal makeup looks you can do on YouTube right now. That's why I always start doing my spring makeup looks in like February because I can't wait, I can't stand it. I'm like, I need some kind of like seasonal theme. All right, now I'm gonna take this tiny brush. This is from Delium Tools. If you watched my videos from the very start, you know that I go way back with Delium. These are the brushes I used to use all the time, the ones with the yellow handles. But I was shopping at Namie's the other day and I picked this up. This is the 773. This is good for, like, it's flat and it's small and dense. It's good for laying down good pigment if you're not really trying to blend, but you're just trying to lay down some good color. So I'm going to dip into a double shot here in the Latte palette. And with this, I'm just going to press it into my lids. Really beautiful purple color. Just get it all the way into the inner corner. That's what this brush is really good for because it's flat and short. You can really get into the inner and outer corners. And I'm just going to press that all over, just up to the crease. For a matte shade to be this pigmented is really impressive. Usually it's the shimmers that really show up. This is a really nice formula. All right, now I'm going back to the Identity palette and I'm using a smaller blending brush and I'm gonna dip into Audacious and use this to blend out that purple and the neutral colors together. Just really focusing on the edge and blending those shades together. And you can see that orangey tone starting to develop. Then again, going back and just intensifying the purple, making sure we're not losing any of it when we're blending out. So I'm gonna add some of that purple to the bottom lash line too, but I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't have my face makeup on. So I'm gonna start to intensify a little bit of the outer corner of the lids. And I'm gonna use the color Fearless from the Identity palette. And I'm actually just gonna take this brush and flip it around, use the other side. I just really like how this flat brush lays down color. So I'm just gonna, again, start at the outer corner. Again, just a really nice pigmented matte. And then once that's on, I can go back to that blending brush and blend out the edges. And then just going back, adding a little more of that darkness. I like to add a little bit, blend, and then take a look and see if it needs any more, rather than just putting it all at once and finding that you just put on too much. You could turn around the brush and just add a little more of that purple to blend. And on the other side, same thing, just pressing that color in to the outer corner. And then just slightly going into the crease. And then blending the crease upward. I'm actually going to take one more orangey color from the Latte palette. It's called Pumpkin Spice. I'm going to dip into that. And I'm just going to use this to just blend out a little more and give the edges more of that orange color. It's very subtle, but I like it to be there. Okay, we're gonna give the eyes a rest for a second. We're gonna move on to the face. I wiped off all the fallout on my cheeks and re-moisturized. For my foundation, you know I could use none other than the LC Cosmetics Micro Silk Foundation. Lilith Karadanian, Makeup by Lilith on Instagram, founded LC Cosmetics, and this was the first product she came out with. It is one of my all-time top foundations. The coverage is, if you like high coverage, this is really good, but it's like weightless, totally weightless. Hardly feels like you have anything on, but the coverage is top notch. The color I'm using is Butterscotch, actually. If you follow me on Snapchat, you know that I frantically went to Namies to buy this because since I moved from my mom's to my house, I can't find a lot of stuff. A lot of my stuff is missing, obviously, because that happens when you move. So I'm gonna take a beauty blender and start applying this directly to my face. And the color that I'm using is called Butterscotch. It has kind of, I want to say like a peach undertone, which I think works well for me because a lot of times foundations are either too yellow or too pink. A green olive girl like me just cannot catch a break with foundation. It's really hard to find one that matches, but I think the peach undertone is like a really good match. All right, moving on to the concealer. This is one product, actually one of two products that I couldn't find an influencer collab for. I don't think anybody's come out with concealer. So I'm just gonna use the Urban Decay Naked Skin in light medium. And since this is a more dramatic look, I'm gonna go for it. All right, I'm gonna go back to that beauty blender and just start blending this out. You know, something I've noticed about myself with makeup is sometimes I look at people's, like these Instagram videos people do, and it's like so, I'm like, I want mine to be dramatic like that, to have that like really contrasting contour and highlight. And I realize it's because the concealer I use usually is pretty much close to the color of my foundation. So this time I'm just using a lighter concealer to get that, like I said, that contrast. Honestly, you would think I started doing makeup like yesterday. But again, it's also because I hardly ever wear a full coverage foundation, but I can see why people like it because it just makes everything so airbrushed and perfect. All right, we are going to set this. I'm very excited to support my friend Patrick Starr with his collab with MAC. Probably everybody watching this video knows about it. This was a huge collab, a very, very big collab. They did an entire capsule collection with him, including eyeshadow palettes, lipsticks, lip liners, and this setting powder, which everyone's raving about. So I'm going to use this to set my under eyes. You guys know I'm not a powder gal, really. And you know I don't actually even use MAC Cosmetics, but for Patrick, I will. All right, I'm gonna grab that powder and set my under eyes. That is some serious setting powder. Woo! Although I'm not surprised that Patrick basically came out with the perfect setting powder. All right, now I'm gonna contour this mug, add some warmth to it, and I'm going to use the It's My Ray Ray BH Cosmetics palette. Obviously, you guys know that this has an eyeshadow palette in it too, but because I used 2 other eyeshadow palettes, I figured I would just use the contour portion. So I'm first gonna take a more fluffy brush and use Mocha here. It's this middle contour color. So I'm gonna use this to add an overall warmth first over my face, and then I'll go in with the darker shade and add a little bit more precise contouring. I don't know, I kind of feel like I don't even have to go in with the darker color. Maybe this is just good the way it is. Because it gave me enough definition and enough warmth. Another palette, so many palettes. This is a collab with Pixi and Miriam Maquillage. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with her. She's been a good friend of mine for years. She came out with this contour palette with Pixi, and this blush right here is the one I'm gonna use. It's a really pretty peachy color, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, it has like that glow to it. So I'm just gonna pick up some of that color and just start patting that into my cheeks. Again, really gorgeous, glowy shade. And now for the highlight. You guys have seen me use this before. It is the Desi and Katy collab with Dose of Colors. Dose of Colors was also started by an influencer, Anna Petrosian, who actually I went to high school with. She was actually the first Instagram influencer to start a makeup brand as far as I know. She started it a while ago and it is a huge booming company now. Very proud of her. So she teamed up with Desi and Katy and created, again, another capsule collection. This is the Mirame highlighter. It is stunning. You guys know I don't like highlighters that are too light, and this is perfect. It has that like bronzy tone to it, but it's still like a really nice bright highlighter. So I'm just gonna take that and start adding that to the high points of my cheeks. This looks really good wet too, so if you wanna spray it and then apply, oh, such a good highlighter. All right, I do wanna hit the bottom lash line before I move on to brows and mascara. So let's go back to the Latte palette. And I'm, again, just gonna go into this purple shade. In fact, I don't actually think I even need to dip into it. There's plenty of purple left on here. Yep. Just gonna run that along my lash line. Because if I were to dip into it, I'd probably get fallout again. So I'm just gonna use the residual color. All right, final step for the eyes before I move on to the brows is mascara. I'm using none other than the Shayla Maybelline Big Shot Mascara in black. This was another huge collab. I think they did like 5 products, but it was the first time that Maybelline had collaborated with an influencer. And actually, now that I think about it, the 2 biggest brands that did collabs this year, Maybelline and MAC, both partnered with people of color. That's huge, especially in an industry where some brands aren't always inclusive of everybody, so these are a win. So I'm proud to use the Maybelline Shayla Big Shot Mascara, and this is a very black formula, so it's perfect for a look like this, especially because I'm not using liner. And again, for those of you who haven't heard my mascara trick, I like to start at the base, close my eyes against the wand, and roll the wand upward. That's gonna give you maximum volume, length, everything. I love how this eye look turned out. Love it. Especially for brown eyes. Purple is like the color that's gonna enhance brown eyes. All right, the other product that I couldn't find an influencer collab for is brows, but that's okay, because I'm gonna use my Brow Precise from Maybelline. You know, this is my go-to anyway. I don't even have to like fill my brows. This will fill them for me. So really all I do with this is like really brush my brows up so that they stand up nice and tall and it makes them look thicker. So I don't really have to fill them in. All right, finally for the lips, I'm just gonna use a liner and a satin finish lip cream. The liner is from Patrick Starrr MAC Collab, and the color is, I think it's called Edge to Edge. So with this, I'm just going to contour my lips. I personally don't even like really straight, sharp lines with a lip color, but I just tend to contour, just kind of like evening this, like one side of my lip is like thinner than the other, so I even that out. And for the lip color, I'm using the ColourPop I Love Sarai collab. This is their Ultra Satin Lip. You guys, I'm sure, know Karen. I love Karen. She's just so much fun and just a great person. So I'm gonna use her lip color. This is a really beautiful, just like pinky nude shade. And I like to just kind of blot it out because, again, I don't like the really sharp edges on lip colors. This just makes it a little bit more like just romantic and easy. So that's it for this look. I wasn't really sure when I set out to do this video what kind of look it was gonna turn out to be, but I love a good plum purple smoky eye, and just, it's all matte. I love it. And I'm really proud to, shout out these people who worked really hard, and it's really brave to set out to do something like that, and they all turned out to be a huge success. And I'm sure a lot of these influencers are your favorites too, so let me know down in the comments if you tried any of these, what you're looking forward to trying if you haven't tried them. And of course, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.